Hi there, Roger Brooks here, and I travel between 200 and 250 days a year. One of the most asked questions I get is where are my favorite places, but beyond that is how do you pack? And so I thought what I'd do is take a few minutes to show you how to pack, whether you're going for a week or 2 weeks. Now, if you're going to go somewhere for 3 months, that's fine. But if you're going to go anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks, first of all, you don't need anything more than a carry-on. Nothing more than a carry-on. Get it? Carry-on. So this is what you get. This is all you need, even for 2 full weeks. And I know because I travel a lot. Now, in this, I happen to be a Tumi fan. I really like their suitcases because they're ultra light when they're empty. And so let's just walk through how I typically pack a suitcase. Now, in this case, I am gonna pack for a trip where I need sweaters where it's fairly cold. You know, if we're going to Bermuda or somewhere where it's really warm, it's easy. But in this case, I'm actually gonna be wearing some dress clothes and some casual clothes. So here are some tips for you and how to properly pack a suitcase so that you don't have to pay for checked luggage and you don't get frustrated with lugging luggage in and out of rental car shuttles and buses and taxis. So here we go. First of all, when it comes to toiletries, I'm not a big fan of those big toiletry bags. Matter of fact, I love these little Tumi bags. And by the way, you could get, I think, there are many other people that do them. And in this, this is what happens when you get a little older. You end up with a pill box like this. You know, I've got a brush. Look at that for a brush. And of course, you can see how much I need a brush. And so for what I've got left there, this is totally fine. And I've got like a pair of nail clippers. And what's really cool about these is they fit right down in these channels. And so what happens is, so I've got 2 of these. So this one here actually has here's a nose clipper. Yep, there you go. And I've got my shaver here. I happen to use electric, but you know, it's got the charger for it. It's got all the stuff. I even have like sunglass wipes and everything here. And what's really cool is you can pack these down in the channels between the handles. And so what it creates is, I call it channel packing. And then what I can do in the middle, in my case, I actually have like a Sonicare toothbrush. I happen to really like these. It fits in the middle one. And then what I can do is I can take things like, like undies. You don't need to see these. These are my unmentionables. But I can take a week's worth of these and I just pack them in these channels where there's a little room left over. And I can put them right there. And let me just do a couple more. There we go. There's a whole week's worth. Now what's happening here is this whole suitcase is still flat. So then, now that I've got my toiletries in there, I am now ready to start putting in my clothes. Now, many people will say, oh, you should take your clothes and roll them. I respectfully disagree. I think you should do this. Let me show you how to fold a sweater. So what I do is just like you'll see in retail stores where they lay them out. I go like this and then I'll fold it like this and lay it back. Now, when it's in my suitcase, there might be a slight little crease down there. And then, or I'll roll it and I'll do this side. Then I just fold it like that. How perfect is that? So then, once you do that, this is a piece of cake. You just lay it in there. Now, when it comes to folding a shirt, whether it's a blouse or a man's shirt, once again, I think the way to do it is you take your sleeves like this where the natural seam is, like this, fold it like this. Then what I usually do is I'll go like this and I'll fold the arms like this and then like that. And you know what? When you lay it in the suitcase, it's perfect. Now, what's really cool about this is you might end up with a little teeny seam right down here, but it's way easier to freshen up. Typically, when I fold shirts this way, I don't even have to iron them because there are no major creases. And I don't know why anybody would ever roll up a dress shirt, particularly if you're like me and you have some of your shirts laundered. And so in this case, see what I did there? So this is really easy to take care of this way. You know, with shirts like, you know, here I just brought in, I'm going to bring a couple of casual shirts. And then just once again, fold it just like you did on the sweaters. Bring it like this. And voila, it's a piece of cake to put in there. And then I got to bring my favorite shirt from one of my favorite places on the planet. Yep, that's right, Zion National Park. Incredible. Got to come visit the Utah's Mighty Five. And then I will fold this, like this. And, you know, I can even kind of, there we go, get some of that out of there. And, you know, I got a little more room here, so I might even fold it a little bit, like that. Now, I am bringing a couple pair of slacks, okay? And so, or a pair of slacks in this case, because I'm going to do some casual. And what I do with these, once again, you want to roll up your slacks. And so what I do like this, but notice they're a little too long. So what I'll do is just fold that under like this. Notice that? Now, there's not going to be any creases. There might be a slight crease right here, but there's no creases anywhere else in these pants. And then if I want to bring in jeans, this is a piece of cake. I can just, you know, put them in here. You know, and jeans you could fold up anywhere. I might just fold them in half like this and put them over here. I hadn't even started on this side. Then, you know, I may say, well, you know, since I'm wearing a lot of sweaters, I'm going to bring some t-shirts. So there's 2, you know, here's 2 more, that's 4, you know, and there's, you know, there's 7. So I got 7 t-shirts there. And I'm bringing in all the socks. Now, I have some dress shoes. So in this case, what I like to do is, why would you waste space? So what I will do is take dress socks or any socks, and I will stuff. There's 1 pair. Here's the 2nd pair. And then, you know, I'm a big fan of shoe bags. You can get these anywhere. By the way, almost everything you see here, you can get a luggage store. You can go to a Container Store. You can go to all kinds of Walmart. It doesn't matter. So there's 1 dress shoe. Then the other one, I actually have my dress belt in it. So now all I have to do is add another pair of socks to it. There we go. So there's 3 of my pairs of socks out of 7. And so I just put those in there. And, you know, when I go on a trip, and by the way, I might move these t-shirts down just to give me a little more room there. And then I'll take the other pairs of socks. And what's cool about socks is you could put them anywhere. You can wad them up here. I mean, I could even go back over to this one. Look at that. And I can put them in here. That's what's nice about doing things like this. You just put them wherever you want. Now, if you're a woman, and by the way, here it is. This is, remember, we're not checking any bags. So 3 ounces or less. So I have my deodorant and all my, you know, all my other stuff in there. I even have some stuff that takes out wrinkles. But this is what TSA does, what they want to see. And so I just put it right there, or I can even put it right here. So it's really easy to get to if you have to take it out. The other thing that's really important is to bring a laundry bag. What was really fun is I was staying up at Deer Valley in Park City in Utah at the Montage Resort, and they had this laundry bag in the room. I did not steal it. I asked them if I could buy it, because this makes the perfect laundry bag. And what's really cool about laundry is that you can just put it in 1 bag in here. And I'm going to show you in a little bit what you do with laundry. But I'm going to put my laundry bag there. But you don't have to go to a resort to go get one. Heck, I got this at Walmart somewhere. It's just a little, like a sleeping bag cover here, or a pillow cover. It's just something to put your laundry in so that when you pack it back up, it doesn't soil the rest of your clothes. Now, if you're a woman, in this case, my wife travels with me a lot, and yes, she does have hair, so this isn't for me. And you know what? Look at this. I have a week's worth of clothes here, plus the clothes I'm going to wear will probably last a day or 2. I mean, I'm not going to repeat the shirt, but even these will pack down in a channel. In the case of my wife, she uses this, which I think is an awesome little hair dryer. Most hotels and resorts now have hair dryers in them, but just in case, something like this, you can even take it out of the bag. It will fit in one of those little channels. And so in a nutshell, what we just did is we packed for an entire week. And you know what? I might even bring in another extra change of clothes just in case. Now, in this case, I still have plenty of room here, because I might want to buy something wherever I'm at. I might want to bring it home with me. But you know what? It takes me about 15 minutes every time I pack. As a matter of fact, I have a set of everything for when I pack. And look at this, how easy this was. And I have plenty of room left over. Now, one thing that's important, that if you're going to go for more than 1 week, remember I said if you're going for a week or 2, what I do is once a week, I go do laundry. So I bring 7 days worth of clothes and somewhere I'm going to go do laundry. Now what's really fun is even when we visit Italy, Greece, other places, we will actually go find a little laundromat. You can just have your hotel do it, but you know what's really cool? You get in touch with locals. You actually see what it's like, how they do the laundry, what the laundromats are. You know, and by the way, they're not always called laundromats. And so what's really cool is bring 1 week's worth of clothes in one carry-on, and then you can bring camera, computer, tablets, maps, guidebooks, and that goes in your backpack. So bring a backpack in this. You will never have to check a bag. You don't have to worry about lost luggage. You'll save yourselves 15 to 20 minutes when you go check in for a flight. You'll save yourself half an hour when you get back. And it is so easy. And I hardly ever have to do any ironing. And that's the secret of making your travel easier, more pleasant, and less expensive without any hassles or concerns about losing luggage.